Well, the breaking news of the night is that federal criminal defendant Donald J. Trump testified in his own defense tonight on Fox. We will show you that testimony in a moment. It includes statements that can and will be held against him in court. The defense Donald Trump offered tonight, which once again may be more of a confession than a defense, comes one day after his last Secretary of Defense said that Donald Trump cannot be trusted with government secrets ever again. And it comes one day after Donald Trump's last Senate-confirmed Attorney General said this.
This was a case that entirely of his own making. He had no right to those documents. The government tried for over a year quietly and with respect to get them back, which was essential that they do. And he jerked them around. And he had no legal basis for keeping them. But beyond that, when he faced his subpoena, he didn't raise any legal arguments. He engaged in a course of deceitful conduct, according to the indictment. That was a clear crime if those allegations are true, and was outrageous.
A clear crime, says Donald Trump's last Attorney General. One of our first guests tonight, Bradley Moss, tweeted this question for Donald Trump today. If you gave the order to declassify all the records, and your orders have the force of law, even if only done in your own mind, why would your lawyers need clearances to see the records in the indictment? Why aren't you contesting that order? In his interview tonight, Donald Trump repeatedly said that all of the documents that he took with him when he left the presidency were declassified. Said that repeatedly. We are now going to show some of defendant Trump's testimony tonight, but don't worry, you won't have to watch it alone. Joining us now to watch and analyze Donald Trump's testimony are Bradley Moss, Andrew Weissman, and Neil Katyal. And as you watch this testimony at home, you can look for what our panel of legal experts will be looking for. First, anything that can actually be presented in court as a legal defense, and anything that sounds incriminating, anything that sounds like a confession. Okay? Here's the first simple question Donald Trump was asked tonight about the evidence in the case against him.
Why did you have this very sensitive national security defense documents, like the war plans for a strike on Iran?
So like every other president, I take things out. And in my case, I took it out pretty much in a hurry, but people packed it up and we left. And I had clothing in there. I will go through those boxes. I have to go through those boxes. I take out personal things. As far as the levels and all, everything was declassified because I had the right to declassify.
They went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
Which
back.
they've never done before.
Right. But why not just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but according to the indictment, you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things, golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things. I would say much more, not that I know of, but everything was declassified.
Andrew Weissman, what did you hear from defendant Trump in that testimony that could be a defense in court? And what did you hear in that testimony that could be incriminating?
So I'm going to jump right to the second part because there is nothing in the first part. So I'll be interested in what everyone else thinks just in terms of demeanor. It's a little striking to me that he sounds very unsure of himself. And frankly, a little scared, and he rightly should be. He's facing 71 felony counts in federal and state court, and may very well be facing additional charges. That was sort of the thing that struck me the most, was his tone. What he had to say is preposterous. So let's just start with this idea of what he is doing with the boxes. And he is saying that he is taking out, and he didn't have enough time to take out personal things. So first, he has already said that everything's everything's personal. There's no triage that needs to be done because according to his prior defense, everything's personal because they're, quote, mine. So it's the inconsistency is something that Jack Smith can easily point out. Second, people should understand when you get a subpoena, if you don't have time to comply, if the deadline's not there, it's not like you don't have the ability to have your lawyer call up and say, you know what, I need more time, or I can partially comply, but I need more time. This is what, if that was true, what you don't do is send something to the Department of Justice that says, I fully complied. Now, he is saying, in spite of the fact that he said, I fully complied, he is now saying, no, I just needed to take out my golf shirts. I mean, this is the kind of thing that Jack Smith has to be salivating over because, as we've talked about, his talking is the best possible thing, as E. Jean Carroll knows full well. So this is, a colossal blunder on his part to continue down this road.
All right, let's move on to another piece of testimony here. Defendant Trump was asked tonight about an audio recording in which he says he possesses a classified document that he is not supposed to show to the people he's talking to about that document.
According to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a plan of attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president, the Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles. I had copies of magazines.
I know. This is specifically a quote. You're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know, this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this, on tape,
it says just the opposite.
That you can't declassify. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify it.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
Could have
but that wasn't a document, Brett. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify.
Neil Katyal, what did you hear from defendant Trump in that testimony that could be a defense in court? And what did you hear that could be incriminating?
Well, Lawrence, the breaking news tonight is that the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, has a new addition to his legal team tonight, an unpaid new deputy special counsel. His name is Donald J. Trump. And in this particular clip, Trump is claiming there were no Iran documents. That is flatly contradicted by the tape, flatly contradicted by the witnesses in the room. So, Mr. Trump, good luck with that defense. If it were just newspaper articles, why in the world are you saying on the tape that it's classified? It's totally incoherent. And the other parts of the tape, like the part you just played for Andrew, really is an admission of guilt. Like if you just think about like the Espionage Act, what does the prosecution need to show? They need to show the defendant had unauthorized possession of a national defense document, that he willfully retained the document and failed to give the document to an officer of the U.S. Those are the elements. So the Trump admission goes to all of them. He's saying that he had the documents in the boxes, that he held on to them because he's too busy. Too busy, as Andrew rightly gets absolutely right. There's no defense that I'm too busy. You don't get to lie and say I turned everything over because I was too busy.
Yeah, it's the I was too busy to file my tax return defense. Now, we got one more piece of this. Donald Trump was also asked again why he was holding on to those documents.
There are 31 documents listed. Nuclear capabilities of foreign countries, related to military capabilities of foreign countries, intelligence briefings on foreign countries, why do you want to hold on to those documents after you're president?
I don't say I do.
You just didn't know what was in the boxes?
discussing with NARA, giving them back. All of a sudden, we've got raided.
Okay, Bradley Moss, what did you hear from Defendant Trump in that one that could be part of the defense or could be incriminating?
Well, I've got some more breaking news. I figured out Trump's defense. It's going to be insanity. He's going to say he's gotten old. He's like all these retirees down in Florida. He just can't keep things straight. He doesn't know what he has. He forgets things. He gets facts jumbled up. Look at that clip. He's talking about, oh, we were negotiating with NARA and then I got raided. Well, no, you left something out. There was a subpoena that came after that, after you started giving stuff back, and you lied to the DOJ. You had NAUDA moving documents. That's why you got raided. I understand it happens to lots of individuals when they move down to Florida. They start to get confused. It'll be me one day, I'm sure. But no, this is not a defense. He has clearly walked himself into a bunch of damaging admissions. Jack Smith team has got to be recording all of that, and they're just laughing and popping popcorn because he did nothing to help his case tonight.